In this series, we're going to put some of your most Googled questions about the royal family to our royal experts.
That is a question a lot of people ask. Is it Eugenie?
From the topical.
Is the former Prince Andrew's reputation in tatters? Yes. Of course they speak to their parents.
They have withdrawn slightly from the public eye.
To the surprising.
Great question, Chris.
Maybe we should Google it.
Boom.
With a sprinkle of royal gossip too.
Do Beatrice and Eugenie like Kate?
They could have easily shoved them to the back of the line.
How do you even know? Welcome to Talking Royals. This week we're turning our attentions to Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie.
Eugenie. I mean, that is a question a lot of people ask. Is it Eugenie?
Yeah, so what's the correct pronunciation?
It's Eugenie. I think you did it right.
Eugenie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got questions in here. Do Beatrice and Eugenie speak to their parents?
They do, yes. I mean, this is where things get rather serious, isn't it? Because things were going not so well for the former Prince Andrew in terms of his reputation for a long time. But for their mother, Sarah Ferguson, she was still, on chat shows, still representing charities, still doing things until the release of the Epstein files. Now, there was a batch in this year, in 2026. There was also a batch in 2025 when it was revealed that she called Jeffrey Epstein her supreme friend. And after that, a lot of charities dropped her as their ambassador. And then I think things got really, really difficult. And, we are where we are now, of course, with the whole situation. But yeah, so they speak to their parents. But like with the recent announcement when Eugenie said she was having her third child, there was no social media post from Sarah Ferguson like she has done previously. And I mean, things are in a completely different place to where they were before for both parents rather than just one parent.
The family has always been incredibly tight-knit, though. They're an incredibly close family, and I think, it goes without saying that it's been an incredibly difficult time in recent months for both princesses. We know it's been difficult for them, but they do still have, of course, they still have a relationship with their parents.
And it's worth reminding everyone at this stage, is the former Prince Andrew's reputation in tatters? Yes. Has he been convicted of anything in a court of law in this country or in the USA? Absolutely not. And he's always consistently denied the allegations. And I think as a family unit, they've always been pretty strong. And in fact, even Sarah Ferguson was living in the same house, Royal Lodge, we now know it's a huge house because everyone's seen the pictures on the news, I'm sure. But they were living in the same place despite being divorced. And Sarah used to refer to them as the best divorced couple. Yeah,
and any time I've sort of spoken to her when she's done Loose Women, which she's done quite a few times, she has, and this is going back months and months and months, has always spoken with great affection about her former husband.
Yes, but always said she was proud of her girls as well.
Did Beatrice and Eugenie go to university?
They did, yes.
Don't they all go to university if you're a royal? Don't they all just go?
Well,
you'd have to get the grades, I suppose.
So,
they'll go somewhere.
Princess Eugenie went to Newcastle and Princess Beatrice went to Goldsmiths in London.
She did? What did they study?
Great question, Chris.
They studied degrees.
They studied Greece?
Degrees.
Oh, degrees.
Yeah.
Did they study degrees?
Yeah, they
didn't do like a BTEC or anything like that?
It was definitely a degree they did.
Do you know what those degrees consisted of?
Lots of hard work and studying.
Amazing.
Yeah. Maybe we should Google it.
It wasn't the question though, was it?
So, do Beatrice and Eugenie have jobs? Do they earn money?
Yeah, so Beatrice and Eugenie aren't working members of the royal family, so they have jobs. Princess Eugenie works for an art company. She's a director. And Princess Beatrice, she is a founder of sort of an advisory firm that advises different companies, including technology firms.
Okay. Why are they not working royals?
I mean, they're far down the list, for example. So after Harry and his children, then you've got Andrew, then you've got Beatrice.
But Harry's not a working royal, and
I mean, that they could do more things, and they did have they did do some some charity work, and they are technically still on the books, as you were. Like, for example, the announcement about Eugenie's birth recently came from Buckingham Palace, because they still get represented by them, even though their mum and dad don't anymore. But they have jobs. I mean, the trouble is they're HRHs. They have the title Her Royal Highness, which is something that Princess Anne decided her kids wouldn't have. But they have jobs. They have husbands with jobs, and they do the odd thing for the royal family, but not very much.
And the larger the royal family is with working members, the more that costs. So,
but we have one member who is no longer a working royal. So shouldn't there sort of, you've got the hierarchy. Shouldn't the others just shift up in terms of where they sit with working royal stuff?
They
because
could.
it's so small now.
Possible they could, but then obviously you get into the problems of all the things associated with their dad and all the accusations that have been made against him, and then it just gets a little bit.
So, in that, I've got another question here. With that in mind, will Beatrice and Eugenie lose their titles?
No, there's no sign of that happening. And the palace said quite clearly last year, when they stripped Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor of his prince title, his duke title in his House Royal Lodge, and they said that Sarah Ferguson has to move out and she'll make her own living arrangements. They did say Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are still welcome to Christmas with the family. It just so happened they didn't turn up at Easter, but they were still welcome at Christmas at Sandringham.
And we've also
the King
been
was
told
quite
that
clear on that.
Going forward, that they are still, while they weren't there at Easter, that they are still welcome at other family engagements. So I don't think it will be a surprise in the future to see them turning up at things.
As they should. It's their cousins.
And their cousins are William.
They have their cousins who have children, and their children all deserve to be able to see each other at big family occasions like we all have all over.
Yes, you want to get the Zara and Mike Tyndalls together, and William and Kate, and perhaps one day, who knows, Harry and Meghan, and they can all be cousins together, and all their kids can play together.
It was interesting, actually, what we sort of said at Christmas. That was before the more recent tranche of Epstein files, that Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie turned up at Sandringham for Christmas, and that was very much as if the royal family were publicly showing their support for the two sisters, and kind of they were right in amongst the family when they did that walk to church. It was always sort of a symbolic, we're shielding them, we're protecting them. They have sort of withdrawn slightly from the public eye since that recent batch of documents, but going forward, I think we will see them.
So we didn't see them
events.
at Easter, for example, when the royal family gathered for the Easter Sunday service.
I'm going to answer you this, Chris, because you should be well aware of the answer to this and the names involved.
Oh, okay.
Did Beatrice and Eugenie have children?
Yes, they do.
Go.
Okay, so Beatrice has two children.
Yeah.
They are called Sienna and Athena.
Yes.
And then Eugenie has two children with one on the way, and the current children are August and Ernest. And there is a stepchild that's Beatrice's husband, Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, who's called Wolfie.
Yes, Christopher Wolfie. Oh, well done.
That was hard.
Well done. I imagine that your brain is very tired now.
I'm going to relax for the rest of the
Incredibly tired.
episode.
It's all right. Lizzie answers
the answers are
anyway.
between them. They currently have 4 children and a stepchild, and very soon in the summer they'll have between them 5 children.
Do Beatrice and Eugenie get public money?
Well, to the extent that they have representation in the royal family, and if they did do anything for the royal family, then it would be paid for out of the sovereign grant, which is the pot of money that pays for the workings of monarchy.
When you say do any work for the royal family,
were they to turn up at an event to represent the king at anything?
Okay.
Were they to do anything officially on behalf of him or the royal family? Then yes,
they'd almost get. Is it almost like a freelance pay?
Well, as in, I don't think they get actually wages, but their travel might be paid to get there, or the security that it costs to have them there will get paid for. So that pot of money is the sovereign grant, which comes out of the Crown estate profits, and it pays for the workings of the royal family as well as the refurb of Buckingham Palace. And therefore, if they have an office at Buckingham Palace, well, that would also be paid for out of public funds.
We haven't seen them do a great deal of this, even in recent years, even before all the latest Epstein files have been released. However, we have seen in recent years them in a sort of supporting role. So there was a garden party last summer where Prince William invited his cousins to be there to support him at that garden party. You would occasionally see Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie turn up on engagements with the late Queen, and that was very much in a sort of a supporting role, but they are not working members of the royal
Do you think
family.
they will turn up at a similar garden party this year? I don't.
At the moment, on balance, probably not.
Okay.
But I wouldn't rule it out in the future.
Are Beatrice and Eugenie rich?
Well, that's a really good question because we don't know how much money their mother and father have. Well, we know that the mother is Sarah Ferguson was asking Jeffrey Epstein for handouts,
Yeah.
so she doesn't have a lot, and she has a lot of debt, or historically she had a lot of debt. As for Andrew, we just simply don't know how much money he's got because the king doesn't pay for his security. He's having to pay for his house in Sandringham, but. Yeah, we don't know how much money, for example, the late Queen, Queen Elizabeth, gave Andrew privately from her private income. So we're not talking about that pot of money I said earlier, sovereign grant, but private income, we have no idea.
Which we don't
how
have the
much
right
he's got.
to. Right, not sure how you would answer this, but what are Beatrice and Eugenie like? I guess as people?
That's a really good question. I think, we cover working members of the royal family day in, day out, so we sort of see them up close a lot. Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, we don't. However, there have been opportunities since we've been doing this job. For example, Princess Eugenie's wedding. Do you remember? We covered that, and but sort of I don't really know them as well as it would be much harder for us to know what they're like.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of their
And
personalities.
I think that also there is that sort of that caricature of them, of
Yeah.
being sort of the party princesses. If you think of the comedy series The Windsors, have you ever seen that? Then they are not portrayed in the most flattering of lights. But I mean, that again is a comedy and bears no relation to what they're actually like in real life. So much more private than other members of the royal family. Just because of where they are in the line of succession, also because of everything that's overshadowed their father in recent years.
Okay, finally, do Beatrice and Eugenie like Kate? Final question. Boom.
I mean,
I'd say yes, because they...
How do you even know? It's such a weird
because
question.
you can kind of see, for example, let's talk about Christmas, when Lizzie said they were there earlier. They could have easily shoved them to the back of the line and said,
That's
you're
true.
at the back. Your dad's caused disgrace on the royal family, so off you go. But they didn't. They put their arms around them. They circled the wagons around them. And I think as cousins, they do get on pretty well. And they've spoken before about how well they get on with their cousins. So I would say on balance, yes, they do.
Yeah, in agreement?
I think so, yeah.
Perfect.
You got no more questions in your little tin?
It's empty.
Oh,
It's empty. No more.
that's good.
No more. But I want to fill it back up again.
With-
I need to do another episode. So I'm going to ask from all of you that are watching, what would you like to see us cover in the next episode? Prince
What would
William?
you like to see us struggle
maybe?
to answer in
Yeah.
the next
No,
episode?
not what would they like you two to struggle to answer. What would they like to see Chris struggle to answer? Would that be Prince William or Prince Louis? Anyone really? Let us know in the comments below. And a quick reminder that if you like watching us, we'd love you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Do check out our other episodes of Talking Royals, which are up on the screen now. And we will see you next time.